Hello and welcome to Galaxia Gaming. In this video, I will be showcasing the non-holo rare Pokemon card collection binder that is now live on my eBay store. The link to that will be in the description below. All cards in this binder have been examined under a magnifying glass with a built-in LED light. Once assessed, I've organized each card into three condition categories. Near mint, which is 8 through 7, light play to moderate play, which is 6 through 5, and heavy play to damage, which is 4 through 1. Since assessing card condition is subjective from person to person, please reference the eBay listing pictures that I provided, as well as this video to decide whether or not my assessment is fair to you. With that being said, I'll now go through the entire binder and explain how the binder is organized. I will occasionally pull out a few cards to show as examples of how I assess these cards. Okay, so first up, we have the near mint section. So how this binder is going to work is first we're starting at near mint and we're going to read as though you're reading a book. So top down starting from left to right. So for example, the first near mints are going to start at Beedrill and continue on until I hit another one of these cards that tells you it's going into the light play, moderate play. And so some of them are in different languages. Some are in French, some are in Italian, some are in first edition, some of them are in limited. And to pull some out of the near mint section to kind of show off a few examples. So there's the back of one. Notice very little whitening on the corners, on the front and the back. So really clean. Great binder cards, or even potential for submissions if you want a good way to get into grading if you haven't done so before. These cards in the near mint are a great place to start if you choose to do that. Going through some more, you can see that they are going from base set to jungle to fossil, all the way through either Gym Hero or Gym Challenge, or even some legendary collection scattered about, as well as some Generation 2 cards as well. So here's another just random near mint card. Again, very little whitening on the fronts and backs of these cards. And for the non-holo specifically, I tried to really look and make sure that there was no indentation or very, very minuscule, because again, I've looked under these through a microscope, so a lot of what I critiqued was magnified. So I try to do my best to be as open and honest with you as I possibly can, because I know that that's one thing I appreciate when I look at collections like this. We'll just look at another one here. Again, these are just examples of some near mint cards in this section. And as always, if you see a card in this video that you would like more pictures on, I am more than happy to accommodate those requests. So as you can see here, we're going into the Neo stuff, and we go to the next page, right? So Starmie, Vileplume, Mew, Abra, Togepi, and you can see here that we're now starting to go into the light play, moderate play section. So from Togepi all the way back to the front page of Beedrill, all of these cards in this section were all near mint cards. So now, going from light play to moderate play, starting at this Beedrill here, which you'll start to see either more whitening or just signs of just light play, like certain black dots either on the front or back of the card, but very, very minimal. Because again, these were looked at under a microscope, so I was pretty nitpicky on what I wanted to put into these categories. So you can see here there are some shadowless stuff scattered about. I'll even show this one. Another example. So you can see on that one, right, some of that, we're starting to get more whitening on the edges of these cards, but again, still really good in terms of, having a binder collection or just having something to submit for grading at a lower cost, whatever you want to do with these. It's all up to you. Again, a great way to introduce into the hobby if you want to just have a starting point or even just make some old retro decks. There's a lot of good stuff in here for like the item finders or the scythers for those really impactful meta decks back in the late 90s. You see here some still first edition things coming in, all jungle. First edition fossil scattered around as well. Again, we'll look at one more here. The light play to moderate play, we're still in that section. So again, 6 to 5 is going to be the general assessment. I kind of keep that window because, again, everyone's opinions and assessment of cards is subjective, and since I'm not an official grading service, I just do my best to provide you with as much information as possible for you as the buyer to make an informed decision, because I'm not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes or anything like that. You can see here like there's some black dots in the edges, but overall, if you put this in a binder, it's going to look pretty good, but it should still be in that light play to moderate play condition. Because I know when I look at eBay or just look at any marketplace, there's a lot of people that don't really provide that much detail on what their cards are selling. Like when you buy a lot and it says anywhere from mint to damage, and it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? You're basically just paying for a gamble that you don't necessarily need to pay for if the buyer just wants to be open and honest about the condition. And I'm going to stick by that. So you can see here moving from the rocket into the gym. Some trainers here. Again, still in that light play to moderate play, which is, about average for most collections that I've accumulated over the years. And just started adding all the rare non-holos into one binder. And hopefully making this a cool purchase for someone. So you can see here there's also some promos scattered about. This one's from the Kids WB first movie promo, as well as some other promos scattered around. And so you can see here, we're starting to go into based off the light, but this says the heavy play damage for the 4 through 1s. So it ended at the Cleffa and started at the B drills here. So this whole chunk, so everything in here was light play to moderate play. So now we're going to be going into the heavy play damaged. You can see here that there are some first edition shadowless stuff in here, but again, not to pull the wool over anyone's eyes or anything like that. These cards are, in heavy play damaged condition, but they still look really good in a binder. If you put some sleeves on them, you can see, I don't know if you can, the camera will show, but there are some, there you go, like towards the description on the bottom, there is a pretty good crease, as well as by the stage evolution near the Dratini. These are just some examples of heavy play, heavy play to damaged cards. These cards were definitely loved, and they're better probably in a binder, just to be looked at and enjoyed. Same thing with the Electabuzz and all these other cards. We'll take a look at a few more of the shadowless stuff, just for you guys to have a good idea. And again, I'm more than happy to take any other requests if you want to see more of these cards at different angles or anything like that, because obviously with collections like this, the more information you have to make a better decision.
the better outcome for both me as the seller and you as the buyer. So I do not have a problem doing that at all.
So please don't hesitate to reach out if you want to start that process. And you can see we're going pretty quickly through a lot of these because the heavy plate damage cards that I've acquired over the years were not as much. It's almost like a bell curve where the light plate moderate is the majority of my cards that are in this binder, and the near mint back to the heavy plate moderate, or the heavy plate damage rather, um, is less because you can see we're kind of blowing through the fossil and already going into the Neo stuff. So again, there's some stains in some corners and whatnot. Try to really shine that as best I can. I don't know if you can see it, but by the weakness or the retreat cost, that section, there's some slight stains, but again, throw this in a binder, put enough sleeves on it, and if you don't take it out, show it off to your friends or show it off to whatever, or just for the memories, and you can do it without paying a crazy amount of money. And doing something like this, purchasing a lot that has been thoroughly examined, you can really make good decisions to have some for a binder collection, or if like I said, if you wanted to start some of these as submissions to PSA or Beckett or whoever you wanted to go to, this would be a good place to start at a lower cost, because I think this hobby is really fun to get into and should be affordable for everyone to at least start somewhere. It's not gonna, in most cases, not gonna pay off any huge loans or anything like that, but you never know. If you sit on these for a while, who knows where it'll be in the 30th anniversary or 50th anniversary. So here's another promo. And again, just way more whitening and way more scuffs on the back. That's where I wouldn't want to put it in to light play moderate, because I think that's pretty excessive. But the heavy play, I think that'd be a good assessment. So that is everything in this binder. You will in fact get the entire binder included with it. I've seen a few instances where people show off their binder but then up keeping it and then having a really hard time delivering it. I think it's just better to ship the whole binder as is. There's going to be plenty of protection. I think I have one cardboard box that fits these perfectly, and inside that, or outside that rather, will be protection foam and a secondary cardboard box. So again, this is active now in my eBay store. I'll post the link to that store in my description below, so feel free to check that out. If you have any other questions, again, if you want more pictures or close-up pictures of certain cards that you may have seen throughout this binder video, please let me know. Through eBay is probably the best way to do it. And thank you so much. And again, any other questions, please feel free to reach out, and I'll do my best to answer them as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.